Hey everybody, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. Now, proper sleep is very important, and I think even more so than diet and exercise. Just a few nights of poor sleep will cause a lot of negative effects on the body, let alone months of it. Now, most of us are just not getting deep quality sleep, and this is especially true for night shift workers. And this is where today's topic is, and a subscriber's question, and it goes, Dr. Sam, I really need your help. I've been doing shift work for the past year, and I can tell my health has gotten worse, both physically and emotionally. I can't get a new job, so I'm stuck for now. However, what can I do to improve my health or reduce the negatives of my shift work lifestyle? So I was actually surprised that many shift workers are having so many sleep, related questions. And after doing a little bit of research, I discovered that over 15% of the U.S. population, even higher amounts in other countries, are actually shift workers. And basically that means you are working outside the traditional 9 to 5 workday. Now, my first question for the subscriber is, what hours are you working? For example, shift workers could be, working from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. or from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Or they're working from 8 p.m. till 3 a.m., which is, for example, one of what my bartender friend hours are, right? So he works, he gets home by 4 a.m. Now, the worst of all is the midnight to 8 a.m. shift. Basically, you're working throughout the night and you're working while everyone else is asleep. So you're basically on the complete opposite or unnatural shift all the time. Now, some people like doctors or nurses have part-time shift work jobs. For example, they might work 10 to 12 straight hours during the middle of the night, but they only work 3 times a week. And then, rather than, working 5 days a week. So they just kind of cram it all into 3 days. Now, as far as health problems, researchers have found that shift work is linked to an increased risk of heart attacks, ulcers, obesity, high blood pressure, and the biggest problem of all being sleep problems, such as trouble falling asleep or trouble staying asleep. And basically the end result is most shift workers are just tired all the time. Now, there is one underlying cause to all of these problems, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. However, there is a secondary type of health problem, and that is emotional health, such as depression, as well as maybe isolation and loneliness, since basically you're on a different time schedule than everyone else, such as your friends and family. Now, what's linked to all these problems is the disruption of the natural sleep-wake cycle, which affects how the body functions, and it interferes with the natural release of hormones and chemicals in the body. And the two more powerful hormonal imbalances caused by night shift is melatonin, the sleep hormone, and cortisol, the stress hormone. You see, the problem is that if you're on a normal schedule or circadian rhythm, your stress hormone is highest in the morning when the sun is up, right? When you wake up, and it helps energize you. This is especially important when you get sunlight first thing in the morning. Then later on at night, your cortisol, the stress hormones, ideally would drop, and then melatonin, the sleep hormone, would increase and get your body ready for sleep. And this is what we want, nighttime, dim lights and so forth. But when you are on night shift, especially, the midnight till 8 a.m., the opposite happening. Day is night, night is day, and it just makes a big mess in your body. Okay, so let's talk about solutions, which, by the way, can be used by anyone who wants to have better sleep, not just night shift workers. Now, the most important thing for shift worker is to keep the same schedule every day. Yes, that means the weekends too. By doing this, you basically reset their circadian rhythm to a more customized version for you every day. Basically, your body will adapt, and now your cortisol and melatonin levels will be more consistent and better. Granted, it's still not going to be as good as a regular shift worker because, sunlight and all that stuff. And this is where taking natural herbs and vitamins and supplements can help optimize your cortisol and melatonin levels can become very important. And I put specific links about these two topics below this video. However, let's keep going with the solutions. Now, when it's time for you to get to bed, regardless of what time it is, you need to prepare your body for sleep, all right? This means about an hour or two before bedtime, you need to first make your home darker, right? If it's going to be outside because of sunlight and all that, you need to make your home darker. This basically might mean like blackout curtains and dimming the lights in your home. you need to create that feeling as if it's nighttime. Now, about an hour before bed, you take your sleep promoting supplements that contains melatonin, but also additional herbs that help your body and mind relax. Now, I take a product called Deep Sleep Formula, and I put the link directly for that below this video. Another thing is if you feel stressed out physically or emotionally, then chances are your cortisol and stress hormones are elevated, which is also very common with most people these days, but especially for shift workers. And what's important to know is that when stress and cortisol levels are elevated and high, it's almost impossible to fall asleep or stay asleep. So you need to help lower cortisol and stress levels. Now, there's two best ways I do is try eating a higher carbohydrate meal about an hour or two before bed. Yep, the carbs increase serotonin, which helps increase melatonin, all this stuff, and helps relax your body. Also, taking specific herbs and vitamins that are proven to help lower cortisol and stress hormones. That's also very important. I take a product called Stress and Cortisol Relief, and I put a direct link to that supplement below this video. Another thing is that noise can be a problem since basically the rest of the world is up and doing their normal thing while you're trying to sleep. So I suggest wearing earplugs or maybe using a sound machine to draw out any potential noises, right? You don't want any outside noises to wake you up like cars and honking and gardeners and neighbors and so forth. So that's the sleep part. Ideally, also you want to wake up without an alarm, all right? Now, when you do wake up, all right, and if there is light out, depending on your schedule and so forth, first thing you want to do is go outside immediately and get some sunlight on your body and eyes, all right? It'll help reset your circadian rhythm in a positive way. Sunlight's very important. Try to get as much of it when you wake up as you can. Also, try to exercise within a couple hours of waking up to help jumpstart your body and your hormones and neurotransmitters and so forth. Now, it can be as little as a brisk, 20 or 30-minute walk outside preferably, or maybe some other form of exercise, maybe stretching outside, maybe lifting weights and so forth. Again, outside in the sunlight would be ideal. Now, there's some things you want to avoid. You don't want to consume any caffeine products within, 8 to 10 hours of bedtime. Ideally, if you're going to drink coffee, for example, you would do so, within an hour or two of waking up. Not, at lunchtime or later on in the day to keep you up because it will negatively affect your sleep. Same with alcohol. I know it helps some people, make them sleepy and tired, but it does cause poor REM sleep and poor sleep quality. So you want to limit or ideally omit alcohol. So in conclusion, as I stated at the beginning of today's message, proper sleep is very important. I think even more so than diet and exercise. A few nights of sleep will cause a lot of negative effects on the body, let alone months of it. And again, negative hormonal changes. Most of us, unfortunately, are not getting deep quality sleep. And this is especially true for night shift workers. Listen, make sleep a priority and take a look at the additional information and helpful links below this video. Let me know what questions and topics you have about sleep or night shift below in the comment section. As always, wishing you a very happy and healthy day.